But you eventually became Vice-Chancellor.
Yes.
At an age that many thought was too young and too new and too surprising for many people.
Yes.
And this was in the 80s, 85 or so.
Right.
How did that happen?
That's
For someone who was previously seen as basically an indirect enemy of the state, because what you were doing was not in the interest of the state at the time. Then things roll over. Of course, there has been 79, there has been 81, and things have changed along the line.
Absolutely. Completely changed. But my appointment is a strange little story. I was in Papua New Guinea at the time on leave from the University of Ghana, and I actually resigned after 2 years because you could go on leave for only 2 years. And I stayed beyond that, so I resigned. And I was looking to come back to Ghana, as usual, like in Dar es Salaam days. After 6 years, I'm coming home. I didn't come home then. Then I got information that I had been appointed by the PNDC as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana. I didn't know about it. I didn't apply for it.
Oh, that's how it was done then?
Absolutely. Oh. So
and you could you refuse or not refuse?
Of course I could refuse.
Yeah, okay.
Not for the first time. But I wasn't going to refuse because at the time, there was in the country a very significant movement on all fronts.
Okay.
Under the PNDC regime, for and against.
Yeah.
But the point was that the government was then trying to do the kinds of things at the time, which we have been talking about earlier.
Yeah. Was it the early part of the PNDC or the later part?
No, early part.
The early part, okay.
Absolutely,
yes.
the early part. And so I was not unwilling to accept it, although I was surprised. So long story short, I came down, accepted the post, then discovered that there were strong elements on campus opposed to my appointment.
Really?
And they were hoping to have it reversed before I came. That's why I was asked to come quickly.
Oh, okay. So
before it got out of control.
Yes.
But that's another off-the-record story, you know.
Yeah.
But so I began life as a Vice-Chancellor with a number of problems to deal with. First of all, the university had been closed down for a year or so in the early 80s. And the workers had occupied they stopped academic work and so on. I wasn't here then.
Okay.
But the outcome was that the university was in a bad physical state.
Okay, there wasn't a lot of maintenance because nobody was there.
Absolutely none. That's on the physical side. But also, because of the very difficult conditions of the time, many of the brightest people had left the campus.
Oh, okay.
And gone to work abroad. And those who were here were so busy earning a living. One of my famous colleagues is now a professor, a big fellow of the academy and so on, was driving a taxi after classes.
Oh, really?
He used his car to drive taxi to make ends meet.
An university lecturer?
University lecturer. Top class university lecturer. Became professor, emeritus professor, everything up to today. But that's how it was then. So the levels had dropped quite dramatically. So physically there was a drop. There was a drop in the standards as well. But interestingly, at the same time, when I came in 1985, from that point on, many of those who went abroad were looking to come back. So part of my concern was to facilitate
their return.
The return. And that helped. We also raised funds like crazy, begging every embassy in town, everybody, for help with our laboratories and equipment. It wasn't just me doing it, but it was the university. Over a period, we were able to overcome many of these things. There are many problems, you know.
What did opponents of your appointment eventually
that is very
come to and appreciate?
Very interesting. my posture was not to worry about who had opposed my appointment. I had been appointed, I had agreed to serve, I had a task to perform. I'll go ahead and perform it with whoever can help. So I didn't bear a grudge against who were supposed to have been against my appointment.
Yeah.
As it happened, these were very capable people.
Oh, okay.
So I used them on the other committees.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely.
You didn't think that merely because they opposed you, they were opponents and they say they had to be sidelined anyway.
Absolutely. Because it wasn't me, it was the university.
But that's not how we do politics in our
Well,
this was university politics.
Not just that, but in those days.
Yes.
I'm not sure about now.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is that I saw the university's task as putting its best people on the job at any time. One. And luckily for me, they also, over a period, came to accept that despite my reputation and so on, work was being done, and they were being given a chance to do what they want to do. So by bringing in all of them, depending upon their expertise and their seniority to work, we began to get beyond the initial problems, and had a very good time with them throughout.